Hi everyone and welcome back. So in today's video I'm going to be doing a mixed media art tutorial and I'm going to be showing you guys how I create this double page spread in my art journal. This video is part of the Take 5 collaboration group, and very briefly the Take 5 collaboration is a list of 5 prompts that each month I and other members of the collaboration group, we create a page in our art journal using those 5 prompts, and we also invite everyone else who wants to join in and create along with us. Now the 5 prompts I'm using today are the 5 for August. So I had a little card pop up on the screen there, but I'm also going to leave them in the description box below. So if you'd like to follow along, you can use those 5 prompts to create a page in your art journal and tag me and the others on social media and let us all see what we create, because one of the reasons that I particularly like this group and doing this once a month, this challenge once a month, is because everyone takes 5 prompts and they can interpret them so differently, and you know, we adapt the prompts to our own styles, our way of working, the supplies that we have, and it's just really fun to see how 5 prompts can all look so different, because none of our pages ever look the same. So it's really fun to see that, and I'd love to see what you guys come up with. If you'd like to join in, then in the description box there'll be a list of the prompts, and don't forget to tag me if you end up using them in your own art journal. And this is the page that I'm creating now is what I've come up with, but if you'd like some more inspiration, I'll also leave a link to all the other members of the Take 5 collaboration group, and you can go check out their videos as well to see how they used these 5 prompts for this month. So the 5 prompts are butterflies, circles, collage, a handwritten quote, and blue. Now, as you can probably tell already, I went quite to town on the blue element in this page. I particularly like creating pages that have a monochromatic colour scheme, so that's pretty much all one colour. Now I did use a little bit of green in the background. I used one of the, I think it was Bundled Sage, it was a Distress Oxide ink in the background, but pretty much everything on this page is all in different shades of blue. Just as a quick recap for the page, I started out by gessoing the page, and I pretty much always gesso my art journal pages because it just gives the page a little bit of an extra, it's not stability, it just makes the page a little bit more able to take the paints and the inks that I layer on top of it. And even though I am using an art journal that has very thick paper, and this particular art journal that I'm using is designed for art journaling, so it's designed to have lots of different paints and inks and stuff just thrown on the pages, but putting a layer of gesso down is just a really good first layer when you're using lots of mixed media supplies. So I did that, and then I just took 3 different distress inks. I'll leave a links to all the, not links, I'll leave a list of all the supplies that I used in the description box below if you want to get different colours, but I used 3 distress inks, smudged them on the page, spritzed the page with water to get just to liquefy the inks a little bit and to create some interesting effects. Then I went over it with a little bit of gesso, and then I went and stamped 2 different acrylic stamps, and I actually used the same inks that I used in the background, so I'm just layering up the same colours over and over again, and that was pretty much all I did for the background. It was very simple, because I wanted to spend a little bit more time colouring in the foreground elements. And in keeping with the prompts, one of the prompts was butterflies, so I used 3 butterflies, and the butterflies that I'm using are from my digital stamp set Butterflies, and it comes with 12 different butterfly designs in larger and smaller sizes. There will be links to everything in the description box, so if you want to check anything out, it's all in the description box. But these are in my Etsy shop, and the girl that I also used, she's one of the collage elements from the ultraviolet collage sheet that I released earlier this year. That's also on my Etsy shop. So I always print out multiple samples of all of the products that I make, all the digital products that I make, so I always have lots of these samples lying around, so I really like to incorporate them into my art journal spreads. And it's also nice because if any of you guys have purchased any of these and you're looking for some ideas for how to use them, then I can sort of demonstrate some ideas. And this was one of the little elements that I blew up a bit larger on the computer and printed out, and she comes pre-coloured, but I did end up going around and adding a little bit more shading and dimension with a couple of coloured pencils, and I used a variety of different blue Copic markers to colour in the butterflies, and I added some sparkles and some white dots with a white gel pen just to just add a little extra something to the elements. And the girl is printed out onto just regular printer paper, but the butterflies have been printed out onto some marker cardstock, just so that I can get some nice blending with the markers for those. And I really enjoyed working on this page today. I think one of the really nice things about art journaling, and this is a question that I think I got when I did the last one of these videos, somebody was asking about, you know, what can you put on the page, what can't you put on the page. The whole point about art journaling is it's just an expression of creativity. So there's no do's or don'ts. There's nothing you can or can't do. You can, if you want to keep your own art journal, you could put lots of writing in it, like a diary or a journal traditionally is, and you could put in some sketches if you wanted. You could do some collage. My art journal is much more, I like to put a lot of mixed media in mine, and I like to do a lot of different colours and just experiment with different techniques, and that's my personal art journal at the moment that I'm doing. But if you're beginning and you're thinking about what to put in yours, you can put whatever you want in an art journal. There are no rules. You could do sketches, you could do full pages, you can mix different supplies together. I mean, on one of my pages in my art journal, I've stapled in bits of ribbon and things that I have lying around. So really anything can go in an art journal. There are no rules, and it's just a way to express your creativity and to have fun, and that's what I use mine for. So now that I've coloured and cut out all the little the foreground elements, and the way that I work, as I'm sure you'll know if you've seen multiples of these videos, that I tend to do a background and then I create a number of foreground elements. Now what I'm doing is I'm just kind of trying to tone back the blue in the background a little bit, because the blue in the background and the blues in the butterflies are quite similar in tone. So I'm using some gesso and a white gesso and a stencil, a circle stencil, to sort of just tone it down and to add some more interest. And circles was one of the prompts. Now if you are following along yourself with these prompts, you'll probably notice that I'm not doing the prompts in order. You don't have to do them in order. The idea is to take the 5 prompts and then run with them, and they're a way to kind of kickstart creativity. But you don't have to do them in order. You just need to sort of include all 5 of them in your piece in order to follow along with the challenge. So now I've sort of just arranged these on the page. I want the girl to be at the front, to put the butterflies behind her. Here I'm doing some hand lettering. Now I'm really bad at hand lettering, really bad at hand lettering. It's one of those things that's on my list to practice with. So when I saw this prompt, the handwritten quote prompt, I was not disappointed, but I thought, oh no, I don't really want to do hand lettering. So I thought I would stick to something so simple that I really couldn't mess it up. So I just wrote hello there. I don't put a lot of quotes in my art journal anyway. So it was a little bit hard for me to fit it into the page. It wasn't something that I would normally do, but I thought I wanted to include it, and it's why I like doing the prompts, because often they, it will force you to do something occasionally that you wouldn't normally do, so it's nice to experiment. But I just tried to do something very simple with the hand lettering, and I don't think it looks too bad, but hand lettering is definitely something that I need to practice with, and I actually do have a few Skillshare classes earmarked that I'm going to take on hand lettering, just to sort of practice a bit. But I just simply wrote hello there. It was a very simple little, it's not really a quote exactly, it's more of a greeting, I guess. But anyway, that's my entry on that, and I went round the foreground elements and I added a little bit of a drop shadow with a coloured pencil. And the last thing I'm doing here is I'm going around the edge of the pages and I'm just sort of smudging on some dark blue ink, just to give the page a tiny little hint of a border. And that's pretty much the page. I hope you saw in the middle there I was adding some circles in with a circle template. And yes, so that's the page. I really like the blueness of the page. It's really blue. I had lots of fun bringing together different elements, different things that were lying out on my desk. I'm over halfway through this art journal now, so that's quite exciting. I'm really looking forward to filling it up more and seeing how it's coming along. And yeah, so I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, make sure you leave them down in the comments below. As I said, there's lots of information in the description box if you want more information on the supplies and things, and you'll find the prompt list there as well if you'd like to join along yourself. So anyway guys, I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will see you again next time.